What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Hey, guys. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? I'm Anthony.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Manny. I'm Manny. I am Sir Man of Arada.
And welcome back to a DCTV weekly recap. Hey, guys. I'm Anthony.
I'm Manny.
And we're back with another DCTV weekly recap. Week 2 of the new season.
Already.
Yep.
Jesus. Alright, so we'll get into it.
I'm going to jump right into it. Supergirl. So, we find out a little bit more information about this mystery woman who was, super strong last episode. Her name is Samantha, and her daughter's name is Ruby. And this whole episode is focused around Ruby really being obsessed with the fact that her mom is a superhero. She has superpowers. It seemed like a really, I don't want to say juvenile storyline because Ruby is a child, but it just seemed off-putting. Like, really? Is this what we're going for right now? That she has superpowers?
It's a little silly.
Yeah, I mean, Ruby's, I would say, maybe like 12, 13, I think she's 12 years old, something like that, but this seemed more like she had the mentality of a 5-year-old. Like, why are you that? Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
I have nothing else to say, just come on.
No, I mean, the ignorance, I understand that, kids can be, ignorant at times or whatever, but we'll get into how ignorant she was later.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this episode focuses more around Kara is again being really just annoying with her attitude, man.
What'd she do this time?
When Lena came in and she's just let me tell you something. When Lena came in and Kara kept putting her off and saying, "Oh, I have to go do something.
Right.
And then
it's so sus.
But not even that. When Lena finally got disgusted and told her off. I was like,
yeah,
that is the best thing you could have ever said to Kara because she's being a huge bitch.
Yeah, but it was well deserved the talk. She wasn't disrespectful to Kara, and she also needed to showcase her authority.
I was just gonna say she really solidified her position. I am your boss.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a friend to you. You don't want that. Now this is what's gonna happen. Well, I'm gonna be your boss.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't. It's so suspect to literally, there was maybe 3 or 4 instances in the episode where Lena came in and just as she was coming in, Kara's like, "Oh, gotta go." It's what is she going to think? You're never in this building.
Right.
What do you do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's only so far, and it was even kind of built upon, there's only so far this friendship can go if you're going to keep disrespecting, this dynamic.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be a friend, and you're just being this way. Now I'm just going to be a boss, plain and simple. Yeah. And I was like, good, Kara deserved... she needed that fucking talk.
It's almost what it is? It's almost like Kara is still, like I said, still having resentment. She kind of partially blames Lena for Mon-El, having to go.
Right.
And I understand that resentment, but then to have this be now... It's not just your friend anymore. This is also your boss, and you do need this dual identity to maintain your... cost of living and your second life, so you can't just be Supergirl and have that consume you. So it's
I feel like
use your mind a little bit.
We're in the 3rd season now, and I feel like this isn't an issue she should still be stupid enough to fall for 3 seasons in. You know what I'm trying to say? Barry since day 1 was well aware that he had to be the Flash and Barry Allen.
Right.
He had to be the hero and he had to be the forensic scientist. He was well aware of his dual identity and how he had to sustain it.
Right.
Same with Oliver. Oliver was a little harder because he was doing worse things. He was killing people at night pretty much, but he still knew the importance of keeping that dual identity secure.
Right.
And then I feel like you get Kara and she's just I don't need Kara Danvers. I just need Supergirl. Fuck everybody. I'm miserable. And it's you're now in your 3rd season. You should be more responsible than that as far as your dual identity. You should know, especially with your cousin being Clark Kent, who has had the biggest dual identity security his whole life, And, you should be well more aware of the importance and responsibility of having your dual identity secure. And I feel 3 seasons in, she's just fuck it, I don't need it. So the villain of this week, they come to know her as Sai. And she's a psychic who is able to show you your worst fear.
And she's also what Psyduck says whenever he wants to talk in Pokemon. Fun fact.
But she shows you your worst fear to the point of incapacitating you. And that is how she's robbing this string of banks unopposed. Because the guards are just collapsing in fear. The cops are collapsing in fear. Supergirl is collapsing in fear. And the first time that happens, we just see outer space.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see much else. So there was progression of revealing her biggest fear to us.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was just the view of outer space. Second was her being in the ship.
Yeah, with her mother.
With her mother, saying goodbye to her, and seeing Krypton collapsing and just being destroyed.
And the ship spinning, just like, I mean...
Right, when it was hit from, like, the explosion.
You can imagine the claustrophobia that would cause. I mean...
Right, and her big thing was, like, the claustrophobia, the anxiety, the isolation. The big thing was being alone and all that. But then right at the end of the episode, you get this twist about her fear where the whole time she was envisioning herself, or we thought she was. Mm-hmm. Even she came to realize she was envisioning Mon-El, how he was feeling, being alone and isolated in this little pod as she sent him away. Mm-hmm. And as much as I was bothered by this episode, that ending moment where she broke down and was crying.
Yeah, because she thought she killed him.
Right, and she was saying, like, I killed him. I sent him away and I killed him. He's
that was
dead.
Strong.
And he was crying. I really, really enjoyed that moment. Yeah. It was an impactful moment.
Dude, that was strong. That might be the strongest moment in that episode.
And then they managed to fuck it up, in my opinion.
How so?
Because her performance in that moment was great. Mm. The crying, the realization, like, I killed him. I sent him away. He's dead. I killed him.
The moment with Alex, yeah.
Right, but then Alex came in, and she was like, you didn't kill him. I don't know how, but I know he's alive out there. And she's like, you saved him. I saved him? Like, oh, that's all it took? This big, important, impactful moment, great performance from Melissa Benoist, and that's it. It was just like, hey, you know that fear you're having? You're wrong. Oh, okay. I wish someone could just do that with my fucking greatest fears, and I'm okay with it. Like, that was. She's like, I don't. And she had nothing to back it up. She's like, I don't know how, but I know he's alive. You didn't kill him. You saved him.
I mean, I guess she needed some reassurance.
I saved him.
But she didn't even know what the fear was to begin with. You know what I mean? So like when she found it out, then it was just like, I guess she just needed reassurance.
But I feel they should have been like an equally impactful performance from Alex as there was from Kara.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah.
Because you had a performance that was all the way up here, and then Alex came in and diluted that performance from down here, and it's like that doesn't make any sense.
But then Sai couldn't make her fearful anymore.
Right, and then Kara's fear was completely gone. To the point where she was able to actually stand face-to-face with Sai, and her psychic blasts were not enough to bring Kara's fear back out. She had completely conquered it. And then she ended Sai with a headbutt. And that was it. One thing I will say about Alex and Maggie this episode. So last week they kicked me off the train, right? And this week with their little debate about the DJ and the band, I was just like, oh. So something's going on back here again. And I was like, okay, this is okay. I believe this one, because as someone who's getting married in 3 weeks, some of these issues are real debates that you have where it's like DJ a band, this, like, it's always a debate of what you want more. So for them to say like DJ a band, and the best part about it was they didn't resolve it in one episode. Because even at the end, Kara's like, did you and Maggie figure out what you want yet? And she's like, no, not yet. And I was like, great, this is actually something that's not just,
1 week and then we're done.
Because normally what they would do is DJ a band, and then, like, one of them would have this emotional moment about why a DJ is important to them or why a band's important, and the other one would be like, we can do it. And it's like, no, but I'm happy this one was more, it seemed more believable and normal to the point of, like, debate, DJ a band, we still didn't decide, we're still thinking about it. Great, cool. I'm happy with that one. Unlike last week's stupid problem of the week. But, so I'm not back on yet, but I'm a little intrigued.
But we also had some undertones of this episode where James is feeling a bit, what's the word? Overcrowded or left out. Because Lena is now the owner of Catco. And obviously she has other duties for, what is it? Is it Luthor Corp? L Corp. So, now, since Lena is going to be focusing more so on Catco, she needs a replacement to head up L Corp. And who is that? Samantha.
Yes, so that is the big reveal you get at the end of the episode. Because the whole time Samantha is struggling. She just got a new job. It seems very important from what we hear. She has constant meetings and things like that. And Ruby, continuing to think that her mother has superpowers and all this, just keeps fighting to the point where she got into a fight at school over it. she's being distant at home. She ends up, leaving the house and going to get pizza right across the street from where Sai is robbing the last bank that she manages to get. And to prove her point so hard that her mother has superpowers, she pulls an Iris and puts herself in harm's way and texts her mother, and she's like, come save me. And puts herself where, like, the debris is falling and the cars are flipping.
But you see, here's the difference between Iris and Ruby. Iris is a grown-ass woman and understands fully what exactly is happening.
Right.
Ruby's just like, my mom's gonna save me, so guess what? Fuck you, Sai. It doesn't matter.
It was very
because she's a
immature and
superhero.
ignorant of her. My God. Like,
I mean, she didn't really understand the magnitude of the stupidity that she was displaying in this situation. I mean, literally, everyone's running away, and you just see her walking in there like, yeah, my mom gonna save my ass.
And then the wrecking ball, was it the wrecking ball or piece of debris?
It was the wrecking ball.
Was coming down. Samantha had just gotten there.
And mother
superpowers.
Mother and daughter fall, ah! And then just Supergirl just comes right in and is just like, man, imagine if this ball hit you in the face. Jesus Christ.
But, like, I couldn't get over that level of
stupidity.
My God.
That was too much.
I don't know, because she is a kid, but it's like at the same time, like...
That's too much.
Come on.
That's too much.
Really?
That's too much. And it turns out that really what it was is she just wanted her mother to spend more time with her because she feels that she's not going to be able to now she has this new important job. And
which we then, right after that, find out is running L Corp for Lena while she's at Catco.
And the father isn't in the picture, so she basically just wants to make sure that she's going to still be a main priority, which obviously any kid that age is probably going to want to make sure that they are. But Sam reassures her of everything, and, they have like a nice little moment after all that stupid shit happened.
But at one point towards the night, Sam goes into the garage.
And she tries
to bend a crowbar. So she is now believing...
Well, she's having dreams,
the
too.
hype. Yeah, I mean, the dreams are still there,
dreams,
but... Like, I guess she's now believing the hype, like, I could have superpowers.
Yeah.
And she tried to test it out, but clearly, maybe it only surfaces in extreme conditions. Her adrenaline, maybe. Like, when she's calm, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we have to find out more about that as we go on.
Exactly. And Lena is setting up meetings and doing all this stuff, and really she's keeping James out of the loop, which I didn't really understand. I mean, I understand that you're the owner now, and you're trying to get yourself acclimated with what goes on, and, you're trying to have these meetings and stuff, but this man's been running the company. Like, would you care to give him a call and say, hey, guess what the fuck's up, James? We're doing this. Would you care to attend? Oh, gee, I'd love to. Thanks for keeping me in the loop. No, of course not. He's just coming in and he's like, what happened? Oh, yeah, we just had a meeting. Who had a meeting? Me and blah, blah, blah. Oh, fuck me, I guess. I mean, really. I'm not understanding her thought process there. I mean, I don't blame James for being upset.
Right.
Because here you are, you've been doing this job for like basically a year now, and someone that just buys it, comes right in and is just like, yeah, so we're going to do this. Oh, you're here.
Not to waste any more time
on
Supergirl.
Yes, let's...
on to The Flash.
Alright, so, Barry's back. Cheers, smiles, unicorns, rainbows, everything you want. Everything that makes you feel happy. Bring it out. But the thing is that Iris is noticing that he's kind of too excited to be back in the sense where he's taking everything on and he's not leaving much work for anyone else to do, and it's a little annoying. I kind of get what she was saying, because here she was like, well, I want to do this stuff for the wedding, and Barry's like, oh, all that shit? Ha! Done. What's next? And she's like, but you did it already? Yeah! You don't have to worry about anything. I'm back. I can take care of every single thing on the face of the earth because I'm the fastest man alive, except for when a speedster comes into town. So she's a little bothered by this, and I don't blame her because, she took on a big role after he left, and here he is back, and he's just treating it like it's just, same old...
I don't know. I feel like they did a good job of making both parties justified. Like, for Barry, I can understand. He's been gone for 6 months. He wants to make up for lost time, and he wants to do things for her and just make her relax. Like, 6 months you without me. Let me handle this. I want to do that. But at the same time, for Iris, it's like, this was important to us.
Yeah, and she likes and she wants the responsibility. She doesn't want to just be sitting on her fucking hands all day.
Right, so I feel like both parties are justified, which is great.
Exactly. So to get back on the same page, Caitlin makes a suggestion. Hey, maybe you guys should do couples therapy.
Well, what really leads Iris to agree with the couples therapy is when the guy is in the car.
Oh, yes, and our villain of the week, which is a basically like a nice little homage to the 80s comics of when Wally West first became Flash. One of his first big villains was this system. I mean, it was essentially a system. It was called Kilgore, and it literally would just take over your computer, your TV. I mean, obviously technology wasn't anywhere near where it's at now back then, but it would still do some pretty great damage, and it was one of Wally's biggest foes back in the 80s. It was nice that they brought that back.
Right, but now it's not just a system, it's a guy who has this ability, but he's not a metahuman. We find that out. He's not a metahuman.
He's coded, and I believe his name is, was it Deacon? Or Deegan?
I don't
believe it was Deacon. No, it's Deacon. He was wronged by his business partners. He had this whole idea for this Kilgore computer system, and pretty much all of his partners that were involved kicked him out and took the product for themselves and made billions of dollars.
Right, and left him with nothing.
Yeah.
Even though he was the one who majorly created it, single-handedly.
Yeah. So he's out for revenge. He's killing everyone who wronged him.
Right, the first guy gets bounced around in an elevator
after
until
he was checking out Oliver's new...
right, it looked just like Oliver's place.
I could have swore it was. That might be Felicity having to let that place go because she doesn't have any money. But we'll get to Arrow later.
They were in her apartment.
But that looked exactly like it was
the same set, but that was in Star City. How could it be?
That was so stupid.
I mean, Felicity's in Star City.
That's
in
fucking
Central
dumb.
City.
That's the same exact guy.
They use the same set. Yeah.
Bullshit.
They use the same apartment.
But yeah, elevator going up and down. Guy gets smashed to
He's
bits.
dead. And then the second guy, the second guy is in his car, and Kilgore takes over all the electronics of the car, makes him go like 120 miles an hour, and he's trying to kill him.
So Barry was going to. He could have sent the car with basically like a little gust of wind. He was
trying to, as he ran around it, he can direct it left or right.
Yeah.
And Iris said go left because there's a road there for runaway trucks, which would be perfect for the situation.
And Barry's like, no, I can do it on this street. I got this. Don't worry. And what happens? Iris goes, you shouldn't have done that. Why? Because over the last couple of months they've been doing construction on that thing, because you don't want to fucking listen, Barry. And he's like, oh shit! So he takes apart the whole car right before the guy can crash into everything at like 100 and something miles an hour.
And that situation is what it took for Iris to be like, all right, let's try this couples therapy thing because the communication is not working right now. And I have to say the therapy scenes were the funniest scenes, I would say, of the whole week. All four. Like, those scenes were gold.
Yeah, it was really funny. Like, them realizing, like, it's like, you've had a lot of tragedy in your life, Barry. You said your mother's passed and everything. Well, I mean, yeah, we had,
And they started listing off all the people that died around that. And then, even for Iris to be like, it's been a long journey here. We grew up together, and then I was actually engaged to another guy. And then Barry was like, yeah, he's dead too. Like all those moments were just great. And then Barry seeing the newspaper that said, Mary Queen, the Green Arrow.
Yeah, and he's
like, what? But those therapy scenes were the best. Especially when he got the emergency from Joe.
Yeah, because it was right at the time where Iris is saying, like, I need you to pay more attention.
Right.
And blah, 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 and he just goes, I gotta go, sorry.
And then she's like, you gotta go. And then he shows and she's like, he's gotta go. So at least she's still
understanding.
Right, she's not being that whole, no, you have to, be here for me.
Yeah.
It's, it's still a responsible relationship.
Exactly.
But Kilgore is still trying to kill the guy from the car. I forgot his name. But he gets one of the robots from, the bomb squad or whatever, with a grenade. And as the grenade goes off in Joe's office, Barry comes in, takes all the shrapnel.
And it's a nice way to remind you of how fast he can be. When, when need be. That was a nice little scene as a reminder. Now we find out that Kilgore's actually the reason why he's got so much power with technology is because he's got code in him. There's code in him, which is what allows him to tap into each different technological device and manipulate it to however he sees fit. And Cisco figures this out and creates a serum that when you inject him is going to mess with his coding and he's going to just become inoperable.
Right, because it was pretty much that his coding acts as a virus.
Yeah.
In these systems. So Cisco created antibodies.
Yes, and that was done because of Gypsy. And we are back on the Gypsy and Vibe front.
I love it. They
are trying to have a date, but it's not happening because Cisco needs to help out, and Gypsy's kind of just waiting around hey, you gonna take me out, or what's going on? And then Cisco keeps thinking oh, she's so great, she's so understanding, but it turns out it's actually a big day. It's 111 day on Gypsy's Earth.
Earth 19, yeah.
Yeah, Earth 19, which is basically okay, one soul plus another soul, one soul together.
Right. Pretty much like a more advanced version of Valentine's
It's not
Day.
a little more intense version of
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Like one soul, another soul, together, one soul, one.
Yeah.
So once Cisco was like, she goes, but it's stupid, and I'm not into like the sappy stuff, and she's like, but I am for some reason with you, and he says like, well, if it's important to you, it's important to me. So he makes up for it, but when she mentions the 111, then that reminds him of like what's wrong with his code,
Right, the coding,
and what he can do to whatever. What I'm still annoyed with though, once again, Wally, you are useless. Like Flash got some new shit in his suit, and Kilgore just like makes him have to like use it. He's like, I smell tech in that suit. He fucking makes Barry just something shoots out of his hand.
Full out Iron Man.
Yeah, just shoots out of his hand, hits Wally, and Wally's down for
the whole
what
ending
appears
fight.
like 20 minutes. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, what the hell was in that?
The whole ending fight.
I mean, it was calcified Speed Force energy. He was literally just not like. I'm tired of them making Wally look so stupid. Like, please, I want to pull for Wally so bad.
But it's hard for Wally because like. There's really nothing for him to do in this show.
Yeah.
They don't need him.
I know. And
they honestly just don't.
But it's just so obvious.
Barry's out of the Speed Force now, and it said he's even faster than ever.
Yeah.
And he's even faster than Wally has ever gone. So they really don't need Wally.
It's just like, you can kind of just tell, like, Wally needs to be somewhere else where he can actually thrive.
And I think from last week what Ward said, I mean, I think...
That was a really good
The
point.
Legends would be a great place for Wally to go. It really would be. I think it's time.
It might be time. I mean, he needs to be somewhere else. But overall, episode was very lighthearted for the most part.
Yes, funny.
It was funny, but I didn't feel like it went anywhere.
Well, I mean, it went... for me, it progressed a little bit because at the end, when they put him in the metahuman wing of Iron Heights, they find out he was nowhere near Central City when the... oh my god. Wallace Machine.
Particle Accelerator?
Yeah, Particle Accelerator. He was nowhere near Central City when that went off. So they have no explanation of how he got his quote-unquote metahuman powers.
Yeah, and then we find out that there's like more of them coming.
Right, there's exactly, I think, 12 of them that the Thinker is looking for.
Yeah.
And apparently, Kilgore is right where the Thinker wanted him to be. So he expected him to get caught and get put in Iron Heights. So the Thinker... is looking for the rest of them now, with the rest of these not metahumans, but metahuman ability people. Whatever. We don't have an actual name for them yet. He's looking for more of them for his master plan, but we don't know what that is yet. And that's...
I think that covers everything. Lighthearted. It was very funny. I could definitely tell that they're trying to make it lighter again, like with the show, and get away from that darkness in season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it went a little too far with the suit. When Kilgore was taking control of all the systems, and he had the raft.
He had Barry, he had control of Barry's thing. So one thing that annoyed me was, obviously I know they had to do this because they had to have a moment where he trusts in Iris, but his suit's going out of whack, and there's a self-destruct sequence where Barry's basically going to die in like 20 seconds. Yeah. And Iris says, throw a lightning bolt at yourself. So, literally, Caitlin the doctor says, that could kill him. Cisco the scientist said, that could break the suit.
That could detonate it.
That could detonate the suit. And then Iris, who is former barista, now reporter, trust me! And then cue that little, with his eye again, from that fucking meme. And he just goes, okay! Like, that could have, literally, they just said you could have had death.
But at the same time, I mean, he was 5 seconds away from death anyway.
I know.
So you might as well try it.
I know, but it was just kind of funny, like, how you have, like, these professional scientists, doctors, like, say, could result in death. Like a worse death. And then she's just like, do it, Barry. Trust me. And he's like, all right.
And now just like that, like, all the tech was taken out of his suit at the end. So it was like, the fact that he added all the tech was literally just for this episode with Kilgore. And now the tech is gone.
Yeah.
But we do still keep the future suit.
Yes.
With the golden, which is cool.
Yes.
Overall, not bad.
No, not a bad episode.
Lighthearted, comedic, and a little bit, in my opinion, more progression with the Thinker of what his plan is.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be the theme.
Now we know there are more of people like Kilgore, and Kilgore is actually right where the Thinker wanted him, which I feel like is going to turn into one big like chess match, where he has all his pieces in place. You know, so let's see where that goes as we go through the season.
Yep. All right. So
on to Legends. So this episode, one of my favorite. They are. Ray figures out how to pretty much track all these anachronisms through time, which I was surprised that there were
tech.
Yeah. Which I was surprised that there were still so many. Like, they looked like there were hundreds across time.
Yeah.
But, like, if the Time Bureau is as successful as Rip says it is, and they've been doing so well, why are there still so many anachronisms out there? Like, you would think he cleaned up the mess by now.
Because reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So, now they're picking out which one they want to go. Anachronisms go from level 1 to level 9, as far as urgency.
Is it 9? I thought it was 10.
Or it could have went through 10, yeah. I know they only hit 9.
Yeah.
So it could have went to 10, absolutely. Which I feel like, at what point does it become an aberration? Like, are they just done with aberrations now?
I think they're done with aberrations, and now they're on to anachronisms.
Because I feel like anachronism might be the way they describe it right before an aberration. Because an aberration is something that affects time, changes time. An anachronism is something that's in a time period it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So once an anachronism hits a level 10, does it become an aberration? Because now it affects time? Like, what if the Sabretooth was let loose and everyone saw it? Would that affect time? Would that then become an aberration?
Maybe.
You know? Like, is that the step before?
But they did go to...
yes, they decided to go to Wisconsin in 1870, where P.T. Barnum is running his circus, which is obviously the origins of Barnum and Bailey Circus, all that.
And this was level 1, right?
Yes, it was still level 1, which is why they went to it, because it was the easiest one. They just wanted to start a good track record with a Time Bureau of saying, look, we fixed this problem for you.
Get their feet wet.
But of course, in classic Legend style, they shit the bed, and it goes from like a level 1 to a level 4 to a level 7 to a level 9, and it just, expands ridiculously.
And how could they do this, you might ask?
Well, Ray creates a shrink ray for any anachronism they find, like a dinosaur, that they can shrink down to size to keep on the ship until they bring it back to the correct time period.
24 hours, it'll stay strong, stay strong, and then it'll go back to normal.
So they find out the anachronism in this case is a saber-tooth tiger.
Oh, sorry, wrong thing. I was thinking Power Rangers. Sorry.
So, then it's a saber-tooth tiger, and Ray, in the heat of the moment, instead of shrinking it, enlarges it. And now it's a giant saber-tooth tiger.
He was allergic to, and it basically made him sneeze and fucking hit the wrong button, and all of a sudden instead of shrinking it, he made it.
So now it's a giant saber-tooth tiger, which is the initial thing that makes it from level 1, I think, to like a level 3 or 4. So at this point, they failed. Right off the bat, mission failed. Sarah goes back to 1942 to
Get
the country.
Was it
Z something. Sorry. But she goes back to get Amaya. And Amaya, this episode starts with the opening of Amaya's true reasons for leaving.
Yep.
It is Nate's birthday, and she is trying to make donuts for him, homemade donuts. And he's saying, well, we could just go buy them down the street.
Yeah. Very sweet.
So he goes out on his birthday to buy donuts for them, and she sees the news where they're talking about Vixen.
Her granddaughter.
Her granddaughter in the present, the one that we've seen in Arrow before.
Mari.
Yeah. And, the people, the things that she's doing and the good deeds. And then when Nate comes back, Amaya's just gone.
Everything's gone from hers.
Yeah, she took all her things and left.
No explanation. Didn't want to wait for him to come back, explain what she needed to do.
On his birthday.
On his birthday. Can you say it, guys? Hashtag Vandal Savage. Yes. Does that warrant another one, too?
Sure. Hashtag Savage Star.
Boom.
She deserves both for that one.
That's fucking brutal, dude. On your birthday. I mean, Jesus Christ. What's one more day? What's one more day? Let the man have a good birthday. Why the hell? That evening, literally, you just had to wait till 12 in the morning. It could be the next fucking day, then you dip. Why are you... Oh, man.
So, when she comes back, Nate is, just mean to her. He's cold to her, which rightfully so.
Can't blame him.
Rightfully so. As Sarah and Amaya go to get the tiger, all the guys go out to the bar, and Nate gets blasted.
Yeah. Whiskey.
While getting blasted... He picks a fight with someone else in the bar.
Because they were picking a fight with the
bearded lady. And he steals up, which then makes P.T. Barnum say, well, here's my next attraction. And it just got weird, because I feel like they suddenly just turned P.T. Barnum into a villain, when it just seemed weird to do that.
Well, he's in dire crisis right now, because his circus isn't doing the numbers that it needs to do.
Yes, but then he ends up kidnapping Ray and Jax, and it's like...
Well, that was because Nate said that that one man
They all
turns
had
into
power.
fire, and Ray can become like a tiny ass human being. So this sounds very. And the guy, of course, the guy has no reason to not believe him. He's talking to a man that literally just turned into pure steel, like in front of his face. So,
but Nate ended up not going with them. He went back to the ship because I believe he was gonna go talk to Amaya, but he passed out in the cargo bay. They bring the Tiger back. It's now very small. And now they have to go rescue Ray and Jax. So Nate and Amaya go to rescue them, but it was a trap, and they get captured as well.
And the reason they needed Amaya in the first place was because they were dealing with a saber-toothed tiger, and they figured she's the best person to work with animals.
Right, because she
be
can
able to
communicate.
read tracks and do all this other stuff that they can't do.
And communicate with her necklace.
Yes.
And as the more of the legends get captured, the bigger the anachronism becomes, the higher the level, which warrants Agent Sharp to come on board.
Rip second-hand woman.
Well, first, don't forget Gary.
Yeah, Gary was fine.
Sarah caught him spying, and she locked him in the brig.
A little bitch, though.
And then Agent Sharp came to rescue him and solve the anachronism for herself, which leads to an awesome fight scene between Sarah and Ava Sharp, and then leads to one of the funniest scenes of the week, like on par with the therapy scenes from Flash.
Yeah, I mean they got bars and they're just beating they're trying to just beat the shit out of each other with it, and they're fighting so hard. And you might ask, well, if Sarah has all this training under her belt, how the hell is Sharp so good? And it's because Sharp apparently has been studying Sarah and her moves for at least 5 years, and that's a long time to actually get someone's moves down pat. So I do believe that if you're studying someone for 5 years, you can fight them.
Yeah. And then at one point they end up knocking each other down, and they're exhausted.
Breathing heavily.
And they just ask, you want to take a break? And Sarah's like, yeah, I could use some water. And then it cuts to the two of them sitting at a table.
Across from each other.
Just drinking water, just taking a break. And I thought that was the most hysterical scene.
Yeah. It was
oh my
perfectly
God.
timed.
Perfect comedic timing for that. What ends up happening is the saber-tooth tiger escapes the cage because of Mick, because he tries to feed it. And then, of course, as it escapes, the 24 hours are up, and it grows large again, which I then think is that what makes it a level 9. It's now a giant or normal-sized saber-tooth tiger on the ship. So Mick and Stein are now the only ones left who can go save everyone else from P.T. Barnum. And really great scene of, everyone having their moment, because now Stein is there, dressed up as one of the clowns.
Which is what Mick feared the most.
Yes.
He said, he made it very clear. He goes, if I see a clown, I'm out of here.
And then he ended up leaving Stein alone to handle the situation.
Professor.
Yeah. So now Stein is by himself to do this. But a nice scene of everyone's character, having that moment of coming together, because with Stein there, he's able to rescue Jax and Ray and form Firestorm. At the same time, Nate is in the back pretty much getting subtly tortured by P.T. Barnum because he wants it to steal up and he's shooting at him and just amazed at how he's able to deflect these bullets, but it's actually making Nate completely exhausted to the point where he steals down.
And also, nice little funny thing where P.T. Barnum says, the Man of Steel. And
yes.
I should coin that. That's a very catchy nickname. But you might wonder, why isn't Amaya breaking out of a cage since she has her necklace? That's a little weird. She was saying something to Nate like, you don't want me to use this, trust me. And turns out that she does do it because she sees that someone that she cares for is in jeopardy. And you find out that she's actually being taken over more so by the necklace each time she uses it. She's getting more possessed.
She can't control it anymore.
Yeah, it's not something that she has any ability to sustain, where she can fight it off. It's sort of like, what Caitlin's struggling with in Flash with her Killer Frost power. Mm-hmm. And she almost killed P.T. Barnum.
Yes.
She just went full bear savage on him and almost killed him. And then they're finding out, okay, so you have a problem right now. This isn't working.
Nate is able to talk her out of it and snap her back to reality. But there is a problem lurking there with her.
Yeah, she's been killing people, ripping them to shreds.
Yes. Another nice tidbit for P.T. Barnum. Every time we saw his show, he was trying to come up with the right catchphrase.
Yeah.
And he said, the first time, he's like, the greatest show in the world. And then he looked, and they were like, no, not that one. And then the next time we saw her, he goes, the greatest show on the planet. And the bearded lady's like, not that one. And you know that eventually he's going for the greatest show on earth, which is, the circus's catchphrase, even now till today. Yeah, so they send the Saber-Tooth Tiger back. The anachronism is solved, and Sharp pretty much tells them, you win this one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you this one. And, she almost slips and mentions Mollis to Sarah. And Sarah knows something is up now. And she doesn't know what it is, but she knows something big is coming, or something is exists now that Rip entrusts them that they're going to be the ones that have to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end, we get this very mysterious scene of a cloaked woman at like a lake or swamp, and she says something that raises the water, and the water forms a being, and her name is, I believe, Kuasa. And the cloaked woman says, I'm a follower of Mollis, and something like he needs you, or something to that effect. So this woman Kuasa, we don't know who she is. We still don't know who Mollis is, but we do know that this big bad, this mysterious villain is lurking and growing as the episodes are going on. And this is only episode 2, so I'm really interested to see where that goes.
Definitely. And last thing, Maya finally provided Nate with some kind of closure, saying that she did not want to actually leave, but she went to see Mari. Mari didn't know that she was there, but she watched her in action. So I saw her save 5 people that night, and when the thought of what Rip told me, when if I stay here, it could be days, it could be weeks, but if I continue to stay here, she might not come into existence.
Right.
So she was kind of doing it for the greater good, but it's kind of just like, why couldn't she just tell him that to begin with? I mean, but at least he got some closure, and she said, it didn't have anything to do with you. She's like, I still care about you, and she's like, and I needed you to hate me because it would make it easier for me to go.
Yeah.
So
it still upsets me because I really like them together. Now I feel like this was just telling you there's no shot. I hope there is. I hope there is.
Can't count it out though. But overall, really great episode.
Yeah, not bad. On to Arrow.
Yes. Okay, so as you remember, the previous episode, the way it ended, oh my god, Oliver, there's a picture of you as the Green Arrow. We're going through this for the 3rd time this time in the series. Oh shit, what's gonna happen? So, Oliver comes in, walks in like a bouse, and asks the news immediately a great question. Anything good on the news last night, guys? All the media people are just like, you motherfucker, you better answer this question. And he just says, well, guys, I need I would love to talk, but if you're talking, you can't hear me. And he says, that photo was clearly doctored. And, he goes, me being the Green Arrow is preposterous. I've already been exonerated of all this before. And he goes, it's not like you see Bruce Wayne going out there, in Gotham doing some things. That could have been Bruce Wayne's photo on that picture. How you doing? And that was the first real mention,
reference.
Yeah, to Bruce Wayne. And I love that he was like, is he taking away nights from Gotham City to come to Star City? I don't think so. And I was just like, please, Green Arrow and Batman, come on. So we end up finding out, thanks to Felicity and Mr. Terrific, aka Curtis, using their decryption for pretty much the whole episode, that I did say it, the photo was doctored.
Yes.
Because I wasn't believing that he was outside somewhere, hood off and the eye mask off at the same time. I was like, he wouldn't do that. No. So I'm glad that I called that. Do we have a flashback of that? I don't know why I felt like that was imposed, to have
photoshopped.
To have a full face. I'm saying the whole face.
But
I know it sounds stupid, but it's fantastic. So, on to the rest of the episode. So, we find out that Oliver is trying, while this is going on, before, it's resolved and everything, he's showing, some kind of property of what was going to, of a new workspace that was going to create about 500 jobs for people in Star City. And he had some delegates from, it was Russia, right? That were there?
Markovia.
Markovia, that were partnering up on the whole program. And all of a sudden, it becomes a hostage situation.
Yes.
Guys show up, light the place up with guns. It's
good
crazy.
Scene.
Yeah, really
good
action
scene with
action packed.
With Quinn, driving the van out, and good scene.
It was very intense. And then they got the people from Markovia in there, but there were some people that got shot. Some stray bullets got away. Some people might have died. And then you find out when they have to stop the van because there's literally a machine gun firing at them too. Who is it?
Anatoly.
Fucking Anatoly. All right. And now it's more like Assaholy because he's a piece of shit right now, okay? And if you remember last season when him and Oliver had that conversation, he said, next time I'll be back, it will not be his friend.
Right. You really saw that their friendship diminished last season,
gone.
and now you see the end result of it.
It is gone. So with this, they say it turns out that Star City actually just saved $20 million, from their police department, I believe it was.
No, it was the insurance claim from the SPDBS. Let's just call them Star City Police Department.
SCPD.
SCPD. There you go. When it got destroyed, the insurance claim gave them $20 million to repair it, which is the exact amount that Anatoly is asking for the hostages to be safely returned.
Yep. Coincidence? No. Anatoly turns out that he did not really keep the Bratva strong anymore. They thought that he was a pretty bitchy leader.
Because of his connection with Oliver.
Yeah. So he apparently, I have no more money. I need money. You have $20 million. You give me $20 million. I do not like you anymore. This causes a obvious rift in their relationship, and he actually went as far as to basically give, what was it, one of the men like a fucking virus?
The main guy. He gave him some kind of virus that he'd be dead in 3 hours.
Yeah. So they get the cure, and Ali actually manages to shoot him in the arrow, like with an arrow.
Which is the easiest way to administer the cure.
Injected. Yeah, exactly, which was funny because Anatoly looks at him and goes, I don't think you understand how hostage
That was great.
That was great.
Anatoly's always a funny character when he's on scene.
Yeah, because he's so deadpan with what he says, so it's perfect. But while they're fighting, while this is going on, there's also some other stuff that's happening as well. Felicity finds out that Curtis has had a side job this whole time in the little wee hours that he has to himself.
Which seemed like such a pointless conversation for the whole episode for them to have. It only led to Felicity then saying...
Yeah, he was working as a coder. He was coding things, and then Felicity's like, I'm pretty much out of money. And it was like, it's hard to believe that she blew all of the money that she got from her fucking settlement with Ray's thing, like, in a year. I mean, what have you been buying? Holy shit.
But it does lead to her then saying, let's go into business together.
Yeah, she already put down a down payment, so apparently that's just going to happen. They're going to start coding.
Which is a good place for them to be at.
Yeah, yeah. Their friendship has always been a lighthearted thing, and it's really great, so that's cool. We have, aside from that, we find out what happened with Dig. It's not PTSD.
Right.
It actually turns out that he was caught by some shrapnel on the island. Dinah thought that he and Felicity got away from all the explosions, and Dig said that she did, but he caught some shrapnel around this area, and it caused
degenerative nerve damage.
Degenerative nerve damage,
which means that it's just going to keep getting worse.
Yeah, and he's having tremors when he if he tries to shoot, so he's not accurate anymore in the field. But he doesn't care to share this information with any of his team members, and the only reason why Dinah finds out is because she keeps digging to the point where he's like,
not only that, but it got to the point where he couldn't even save her life.
Yeah.
Because of this. And then at that point, she was like, now are you going to tell me what the fuck is going on?
Because he says it's none of your business. And she's like, I'm out there with you.
Right.
It very well damn is my business. And she makes a cute, that's a great point.
And then we see it in action when, she's on the verge of being killed because she has the garrote wire around her neck. And she has to save her own life at that point. And John couldn't do it for her.
Yeah, and I mean, you see how bad it really is, and that's like that's a huge liability, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Wild Dog was already in the hospital, like Renee was
because of John.
Because of John. So this is gonna, hopefully this doesn't become a recurring thing. And
at that point, John finally says, "Okay, well, let's get to that in a minute. We'll get there." Big bombshell at the end.
Yeah. So while this is also happening, everything simultaneously going on, William gets the shit kicked out of him. Alright, maybe gets punched a few times at school, but he has a black eye, and it's because the kids at school were like, your dad's the Green Arrow, he can't save you, because we're in school. This is the education system. Bang! So Oliver tells him what to do, to basically, he's like, find the biggest dude, the one that picked on you. He was like the biggest 8th grader in there. Hit him right, punch him right square in the nose. His friend, they won't know what the hell to do. They'll leave you alone. That much.
This episode was exactly what Slade was talking about last week, where you're walking in two worlds. You can only do that for so long. When are you going to be able to be the father that your son needs, as opposed to the hero everyone else needs?
And William had some great moments in this episode. I mean, there was a conversation where he was having with Oliver, where he's saying what you do. He's like, there's psychopaths that are trying to kill you every day.
Right.
And he's like, but they won't. And he goes, you don't know that. And he's like, because then if I lose you, he's like, I don't have anybody else in this world.
You have Reza.
Yeah, but I mean, after 5 years in hell, not gonna do it. Sorry. But Ollie's saying, he's trying to make a promise that he can't keep. He's saying I promise you, I will always come home to you and make sure that I'm here. And he says that's not. And William says the best thing that you can say in that situation. He says, "You can't." He goes, "That's not your call. That's not your choice. Like, you can't promise that." And that hits Ollie. Finally,
he realizes he made a promise that he obviously can't keep.
Yeah,
and he even was talking to Renee about it. And he's like, "How do I do this? How do I be the father he needs, but be the hero everyone else needs, with keeping the promise that I can come home every night?"
Yeah, because when William said, like, that's not up to you, I was like, yes. Because honestly, like, I'm tired of when everyone in these shows makes these promises, like nothing's ever going to happen to you again. I promise. You don't have any control over that shit. Stop it. And I like that this, like, what is he, 13? Like this 12, 13-year-old kid. Or no, I'm sorry, maybe like 10 or 11, but he looks grown, like more grown than that. But he's like smart enough to be like, bullshit, Dad. Bullshit. You can't make that promise. Like, and Ollie like really recognizes that, and he says, okay, so you know what? I'm setting something up to have a contingency, basically, so that won't happen to you. Yeah. And
all the while, the FBI is now investigating Oliver
for being
the Green Arrow.
Just keep bringing it. It's a full plate today.
And I do like the callback they made where he said, I was exonerated of all charges for that, and she goes, "No, you were just proven to be the Hood," which was his first persona.
And the Arrow as well, because Roy revealed himself as the Arrow, so now she was like, it's like the Green Arrow.
Right, and she's like, but not as the Green Arrow. Which at this point, she's like, come on. But yeah, so they're investigating him, and just as towards the end of the episode, as he's willing to have an interview with her and answer questions, the news comes on and says that the photo was doctored. Pretty much, it was photoshopped, and he is not the Green Arrow. But FBI, I forgot her name.
Son of a bitch. That's not the name. Oh my god.
Agent son of a bitch.
Agent son of a bitch.
Walters?
Was it Walters? Whoever she is, we promise we will mention her next week.
Yes, because she's not done yet, so we will definitely see more of her. Yes. Because she says, even though this photo was doctored, and everyone else could believe you're not the Green Arrow, I'm not convinced, and I will continue to keep my investigation open.
There's always one.
Yeah, so we're gonna see more. We're gonna see more of her as the season goes on, because she's not letting go of this investigation of Oliver being the Green Arrow.
Yeah, and as if all of that wasn't enough for one episode, guys. Oliver puts his plan into motion as to how he can assure himself coming home to William.
Just as John was about to tell him about the nerve damage and how he can't really be in the field anymore, Oliver drops a bombshell on him and says, "I need to be there for my son, but the city needs the Green Arrow. It just can't be me." And he passes the mantle onto John to be the new Green Arrow. And instead of telling him, "Whoa, I can't shoot for shit," John agrees.
Put her there, pal. I'm down.
And now John is going to be the new Green Arrow, at least for the immediate future.
A nice little turn. Honestly, I like that. I do.
I mean, we've seen him wear the hood before
after Oliver died, but like this is like a whole new dynamic because Oliver's alive and well.
But not only that, I mean, I think we've seen him wear it before just to disprove that Oliver was the Hood.
But also
and then also when he died. So he has been this role in certain instances before. It's not new to him.
But not to this magnitude.
No, not to actually say this is officially yours.
And the team is yours.
Yeah.
Like this is he's never had this big of a team. Like he's not. It's not just like him, Roy, and Felicity.
Right.
It's Renee. It's Mr. Terrific. It's Felicity. It's Dinah. It's Lance.
But I feel like they were able to make Felicity walk again by Curtis putting that thing on her spine. So if they can do that, I'm sure they can come up with something to halt the degenerative nerve damage, or at least stop it completely. Like there's got to be something they can do for that because there's no way he can't shoot a gun, but he'll be able to concentrate his nerve enough to shoot an arrow accurately, So there's got to be something he can do for that, I guess.
Maybe a crossbow and teach him with a lefty.
Well, was he shooting a crossbow in the preview for the next episode when he was shooting the tennis balls?
I think he was. But you know what? This is gonna be a different dynamic, and I kind of like it. It's like a new fresh. It's feeling a little fresher.
It's something different for right now. I mean, obviously we know Oliver is going to come back as a Green Arrow at some point, but as of right now,
I look forward to finding out how.
Right, we're seeing this part of the story unfold with John being the Green Arrow, which I'm excited to see. It's different.
Yeah, this was a jam-packed episode, and I loved every single minute of it. It feels different from every.
Yes.
I know it's only 2 episodes in, so I'm not trying to get crazy, but it definitely feels different. Like already from all the other seasons, just because you never had a dynamic with the son before.
Yes.
And this is going to be something that can't be resolved in 5-10 episodes. It's something that needs a whole season's attention. So I look forward to more episodes. I think that this has been probably really. I mean, this has just been, in my opinion, probably the most consistent so far. It's just really killing it.
Yeah.
That being said, on to our rankings. You first, sir.
Okay. This week, I will say, I will go first. Flash. Flash is keeping it strong for me this season. Solid episode, a little bit of progression with the Thinker, very funny and lighthearted. Much different than we saw last season, because last season Flash was at the tail end of my rankings every week, for the most part. But I will go first, Flash. Second, I will go Legends. From beginning to end, solid episode. Never lost your attention for a minute. You know what I mean? Great episode. 3, I will go Arrow. Again, not by any means a bad episode. I actually love this episode of Arrow a lot. And it's set up for a huge revelation with John being the Green Arrow for the future for now. But overall, I felt like it was just an episode to have Oliver experience that rift between father and hero. You know, that was what the whole episode was made for. You know, Felicity and Curtis, that whole part didn't even need to happen. The doctored photo, even though we still don't know who leaked it, which is going to come up again later on in the series.
It wasn't Anatoly.
Right, it will come up later on in the season. I felt like it was just pointless. You know, like by the end of the episode, they were like, yeah, it was doctored. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You know? And it was just a little stepping stone to see who is trying to now ruin the Green Arrow's image. But that's why it's third for me. And fourth, I will go Supergirl. God, it's killing me this season so far. I mean, that's not good considering it's your first 2 episodes, and one of them was your season premiere, you know, which is really supposed to wow me for the season and draw me in. And this episode did not do anything to really help that cause either. It will be last for me this week.
Okay. I'm going different. I am going to give the first one... I was up there between Arrow and Legends, and I think I am going to go Arrow. I'm really feeling the depth. It could just be me, but I'm really feeling the depth. Like, the dynamic between him and his son is very entertaining, and like they've had like some really poignant conversations where it's like, dude, yes, you know what I mean? Like, they should be exploring this right now, and they're making some like great points. And I just feel like the new take on Dig being the Green Arrow in this capacity is going to be very interesting, being that he's got the injury that no one knows about, and he's taking over. We don't know if he's going to feel like he's in over his head. You know. Second, Legends. Legends, I thought it's so whimsical. I can't it just literally is just everything that you could want in a show. It's like humor, but they had their serious moments, funny moments, but even in great action sequences. Like, the plot was great. Like, I love bringing back Amaya because obviously I'm sure we all missed her. She's a great character. What's going to happen between her and Nate? I mean, the Time Bureau is going to be interfering. What's going on with Miles? Why is this woman coming out from the ocean and being like, yo, I'm alive? What's happening? We don't know. There's so much to be answered, and I'm so looking forward to all of it. Third, I'm going to go Flash. Not by any means a bad episode. I definitely felt like it didn't really progress too far compared to Arrow and Legends. I feel like those two went a little further. But the therapy scene was great. I do like the lightheartedness. The jokes were on point. Really funny. I like that they showed some vibe and gypsy romance there. Can't get enough of that. And last, I gotta give it to Supergirl. Unfortunately, hers definitely felt the most stagnant, and some of those story plots just did not feel necessary. Where I was like, okay, I gotta put this above this. The daughter, Ruby, you're killing me, Ruby. I want to like you, Ruby. I really do. I want you to be a diamond in the rough, Ruby. But unfortunately, when you're trying to get killed just to prove a fact that your mother might have superpowers, it doesn't really sit well with me in terms of where your mindset is at. Because if you're like 11 or 12, maybe you should be you might want to be like in 4th grade right now with that mentality. It's not becoming. I understand the ignorance, like, as a child or as a kid or whatever, but that's just too much for me. So yeah, I'm going there. I just wish that they didn't have someone that, as like a villain, that kind of resembled basically like a more intense version of Scarecrow. You know, like Scarecrow has the gas, she has like her mind. Okay, I would have liked to have seen a little more Jean in that episode. I know that he tried, and he was like, my mind, I can't do it. She found me, and now I'm crippled in my mind for a second. So, yeah, it was all right. I gotta be honest, it was all right. I think that Mars episode is gonna be good, though. I'm hoping.
So, those are our rankings for this week. And that wraps up DCTV Weekly Recap for this week. Like the video if you like what we had to say. Comment below about what you thought about this week's episodes and the little revelations we got towards the end of each episode of where the season was going further.
Subscribe.
Subscribe if you want to catch more of these podcasts every week. But until then, I'm Anthony.
I'm Manny.
And we'll see you next time. Later.